Meh. Another fucking goddamn fucking deep fat fucking fart fuck, whatever the fucking shit. Yeah. Fucking deep.
Yeah.
It's fucking deep fat fried. Big fucking deal. Big fucking whoop.
It is a big fucking deal, TJ.
Yeah.
The greatest fucking podcast to ever be created by man.
Yeah, but most podcasts are shit, so it's not even that big of a bragging right.
Still a bragging right, TJ.
Yeah, I guess
there's some aliens. Maybe they schooled us, but you know what? We don't even know if they exist.
I guess it's still something of a bragging right.
Oh, it's a bragging right.
Yeah, this fucking ugh.
TJ's open contempt for just doing the.
It's not even that. It's just like I just fucking miss the presentness. You know, this remote shit is just driving me nuts. But whatever, gotta do the best you can with the fucking times you live in, or whatever the fuck. So my episode is about wasps, which, by the way, the first thing I want to talk about is just how much that word sucks to say.
Wasp?
Not wasp. I mean, wasp itself is kind of a shitty word, but when you have to pluralize it and say wasps, it's like
Wasps.
you see what I'm saying? Wasps.
They don't seem
I
very.
don't have trouble with it. I like
Wasps. Wasps. Just like a weird.
So I know why you picked this episode, TJ.
Why?
Because you have a fucking infestation of wasps.
I don't have an infestation, but I've seen a couple floating around.
No, you got an infestation. You just don't know it yet, dude.
Oh,
Here's the thing about
fuck.
wasps. I'm gonna tell you something about them.
If you see one, there's 20 billion.
It's not. Well, it's not even that bullshit. It's like once you start seeing them hanging around, dude, they got a fucking nest. Like Taylor bought these things like to put in front of her house. She's like, these are like lanterns. They'll be beautiful and all that. And then come to find out, she wasn't maintaining them, and they basically both became just like hives of wasps. I'm like, we walked out the front door. I'm like, there's like 20 wasps like flew at us. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And we had to fucking like open these things up. We like hit them with a hose and like the wasp killing spray, and there was literally like 40 wasps living in these lanterns. So I'm just telling you, you got to be careful. If you see like a couple, there's probably a nest nearby that's gonna fuck you up.
Don't get lanterns. That's what I'm hearing.
Don't get lanterns ever, dude. Just don't do it.
Yeah, lanterns suck dick. All right. Well, I'm gonna get right into it. Just gonna get right into it. Come on. Give me a fucking
Didn't you pose a question with this episode? Like, are wasps the most
Yes.
evil thing?
Yes.
Can I just end the episode now? Yes.
Wasps, pure evil.
Yes.
I'm inclined to agree with Paul.
Well, listen,
After
here's
attacked by wasps and stunned by them so many times. I agree.
Listen to this though, because this is it's an important thing. You know, there's these people.
These are like fucking hyenas, TJ.
I know. Well, this is about the larger context
Wrong
of
episode, TJ.
nature.
What are you talking about? TJ, it's gone off the rails, man. Can we go back to wasps?
Yes. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm getting to wasps. I'm going to wasps through the root of hyenas. Okay.
I'm TJ. I'm gonna do an episode like you, TJ. Blah blah blah. I'm TJ.
Mm-hmm. So it can be
It
can be philosophically argued that there is no such thing as evil, at least on an objective level. You know,
by an empty-headed moron.
We human beings, we may have subjective notions of evil, but nature itself recognizes nothing as evil. In fact, nature often uses what we call evil simply as a tool. A pack of hyenas meticulously stealing a young calf from a mother bison, slowly and over a long ordeal of escalating violence, each member of the pack taking small nips at the youngster as the mother tries to fend them off. But eventually, her offspring is bleeding from several dozen places, and eventually she is exhausted, and eventually the hyenas overwhelm her defenses, and she must leave her calf for dead, watching helplessly in the distance as the hyenas rip her child apart.
While still alive.
Now, if that's evil, then that's evil that's baked into the very DNA of the hyena by the forces of nature. So nature is obviously rife with examples of such cruelty, of the strong preying on the weak. That's the way of the world, the way of nature, the solution that nature has come to in the struggle for life to endlessly perpetuate itself. But nature isn't evil. Now, that's how the argument goes. The nature isn't evil argument. Nature doesn't create evil. evil is just a man-made concept and not even a very well-defined one. That's the argument. But I don't believe it. And the reason why I don't believe it? Wasps.
Yep.
Finally, you arrive at a reasonable point, DJ.
Yes. Wasp.
You were born to make this episode.
Just look at this piece of shit. I mean, like, look at it. Just
It's
look
hideous.
at this motherfucker. All right. I just want you to soak in how fucking evil it is. I mean, like, if there is a fucking real life basis for the fucking xenomorphs in Alien, is this not that basis? Like, is there anything on this planet closer to a fucking xenomorph than this thing?
No.
I can't think of one. Even its reproductive cycle, as we'll fucking learn, but we'll get into that.
It's unappealing in every fucking way possible.
They do a lot of good, though, guys. Come on, let's be fair to the Wasps.
Gross. No, I don't want to be fair to the Wasps.
I want to be fair to them.
What's the worst part about the Wasp, like just looks-wise for you guys?
Obviously, the stinger is pretty scary because that's where it stings. But, I mean, like, that horrible little bridge between its fucking, I don't know the exact name of that part. Yeah, like,
thorax,
like abdomen, thorax, kind of little intermediary little sliver there that doesn't even look like it should support it.
Dude,
That's kind of fucking weird.
I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's not even that. It's just their very presence. Because if you see a bee buzzing around, you're like, okay, it's a bee.
Oh,
fucking
cute little bee.
Flowers.
You might be a little bit like, ooh, what if I get stung? But
yeah, I mean, you might have a little like bit of fear.
But mostly you're just like, oh, cute little bumblebee.
Yeah, collecting pollen.
No one sees this. It's like, oh, a cute little wasp.
I mean, yeah, collecting its nectar. You know, okay. But when you see the presence of a wasp, you're just like, I'm fucked. If this thing comes after me and stings me, it's gonna fucking hurt like fucking hell. It's just like I don't like, and you know they're gonna do it to you. If you even see one, you know it's gonna sting you. It's not like a question of like, will it sting me? If it comes near you, it's trying to sting you.
Yeah, they're way more aggressive than bees, for one thing. Anyway, let's learn some scientific facts about wasps. Maybe that'll calm our fears a little bit. Wasps, known also by their scientific name, Satanicus malevolus, came to Earth in 666 AD, carried on an asteroid of brimstone that crashed into what we now know as Death Valley. Soon enough, they spread across the globe to every continent, including the dreaded wandering snow wasp found in Antarctica, whose sting is powerful enough to kill a sea lion.
Jesus.
That's pictured there. You see that? Yeah, that little thing. Powerful enough sting to kill a sea lion. That's the fucking.
If you had the wide shot, it'd be just a fucking.
Oh my god! You can't really tell how gigantic it is here, but it's a big wasp. You know, from the spindled sea wasp of the oceans to the colossus cosmic wasp in space, there seemed to be no reprieve from these diabolical creatures. As famed wasp researcher Kyle Reese once said, "Listen and understand. These wasps are out there. They can't be bargained with. They can't be reasoned with. They don't feel pity or remorse or fear. And they absolutely will not stop, ever, until you are dead." Chilling words. And as we all know, a mere few hours after he uttered them, he was dead, stung over 10,000 times by an enclave of Somalian muck wasps.
Oh my God, Somalian muck wasps.
I know. Could you imagine a worse death? He had to be identified by his dental records. You know, when they first came across his corpse, no one could even tell if what they were looking at was human.
Jesus.
That's how evil these things are. All right. Okay, so obviously I'm kayfabing a little bit here.
What?
Yeah. None of that. Just none of what I said was true just now.
Somalian muck wasp.
There's no Antarctica wasp.
Be a Somalian muck wasp.
There's no Somalian. Well, there might be a Somalian muck wasp. I might have gotten right on that. So let's talk about some of the real fucking facts behind these pieces of fucking shit. So according to Wikipedia, the source we plagiarize for all our information here on this show, a wasp is any insect in the order of Hymenoptera, and suborder Apocrita. That is neither a bee nor an ant, but they're closely related to both. It goes on to say the most common known wasps, such as yellow jackets and hornets, are in the family Vespidae and are eusocial. Eusocial is basically the highest order of sociality in a creature. Wow. Living together in a nest with an egg-laying queen and non-reproducing workers. Very similar to the colony structure of a beehive. Wasps first appeared in the fossil record in the Jurassic and diversified into many surviving superfamilies by the Cretaceous. They are a successful and diverse group of insects with tens of thousands of described species. Wasps have spread all over the world except for the polar regions where it's a little too cold for them.
Oh, man, the safe haven.
Yeah, so that's if you want to be truly safe from the wasps, you got to go to one of the polar ice caps.
Dude, once again, my Antarctica plan becomes the right way to go.
I know, right? Paul, you are getting so vindicated lately. You ever notice that?
I know.
Just left and right. The world.
I don't even know what to do with it.
I know. It's like you're used to being kind of like this outsider and this crazed fringe voice, but more and more I'm seeing people like, man, I'm starting to agree more with Paul.
Stay in your home. Stay away from the windows. It's like all this shit. And people like, 3 months ago, like, Paul's an idiot. Now
Paul's
like,
a fool. But now it's like, Paul knew.
Paul.
Don't worry, though.
Blame them? He fucking called it.
Don't worry, though. Like, as soon as shit goes back to a semblance of normalcy, all these dumb motherfuckers will renounce me again.
Oh, Paul's stupid again.
I always knew Paul was retarded.
For a few months, he was right about everything, but now he's fucking dumb. Anyway, so in my research, it was really confusing because I kept reading more and more about, obviously, if I'm researching wasps, I'm reading about fucking wasps. And I kept reading contradictory facts about how many different species of wasps there are. So the lowest I saw was 20,000. And then I saw another one that said 30,000. And then I saw another one that said 120,000. So at any rate, there's tens of thousands.
Look, one is too many.
One species of wasp is too many, yeah. So all these wasps are around. A lot of the information I'm about to disseminate to you is very general. It doesn't necessarily apply to every fucking species, okay? But wasps are broken into two basic categories, all right? So you got your social wasps. I really hate saying that word. And you got your solitary wasps. So let's start with the social wasps because these are the wasps that you're probably more familiar with simply because even though there's only about 1,000 species of social wasps, but they're the most successful species. And obviously because they're so social, they live in larger colonies and stuff. And that includes hornets and yellow jackets and stuff like that. So like I said before, wasp social hierarchy tends to be very, very similar to the social hierarchy of bees, which means there's a queen, and then there are female workers, and then there are male drones that basically exist just to fuck. So the way wasps work is when winter comes to an end, as it just has, the queen awakens from what's called torpor, which is a form of hibernation. And she immediately builds a single cylinder and fills it. She goes hunting. She finds an insect, usually some kind of a spider or dragonfly or whatever is available. And she uses her venom to paralyze that insect and bring it to that cylinder. She stuffs it in. She lays an egg. The egg hatches. The larva then feeds on the hapless, paralyzed victim that's trapped in the cell.
Dude, these are like the most metal fucking animal. It's like awaken from torpor. Ah! Then it's like find the vessel, poison it. It's
So
like, what the fuck?
If you're the prey of a wasp, basically what happens is you awaken in this weird cylinder. You feel paralyzed. You're like, I can't move. I can't move. There's some horrible larva worm thing that starts devouring you, And so basically she rinses and repeats that fucking process over and over again until she's got her workforce. Then her full-time job becomes laying eggs while the workers that she created feed her ever-expanding brood. The adult wasps that she creates subsist on a pretty largely vegetarian diet of pollen and nectar. They hunt not to feed themselves, but to feed the larva. So basically, most of the nutrition a wasp ever gets in its life is while it's developing. From there on, it just lives on pollen and nectar. But it continues to hunt to feed the ever-expanding, ever-growing brood of larvae that need to be fed meat so that they can grow into new workers and new drones and maybe even a couple new queens. So male wasps or drones, like I said, they exist only to fuck. They fuck the queen. Now, the queen can live through a few cycles. Sometimes they get a new queen or even a couple new queens. Sometimes they stick with the old queen. Or they might have one old queen, one new queen, whatever. But the males, they impregnate the queen before winter comes back. And so when she goes into torpor again, her eggs are fertilized and she hibernates. When winter comes, the queen lives. She goes into torpor, this kind of suspended animation. All the workers that she created die. All of the drones die. Everyone else dies. The queen survives so that she can perpetuate the wasp existence the next fucking spring.
Damn, dude. Yet again, the fucking most mental population group, just like, oh, they're useless. The queen must survive.
Yeah. So it's all about that queen. Everyone else is disposable. So kind of like our society.
Yeah, as long as Beyonce's alive, that's all we need.
Yeah,
injecting some neckbeard commentary. I like it.
Yeah. Kind of like human society. For who is the true monster?
Run everything.
They run the world.
The vast majority of wasps, though, are not social wasps. They are solitary wasps. So, to once again quote Wikipedia, having mated, the adult female forages alone, and if it builds a nest, does so for the benefit of its own offspring. Some solitary wasps nest in small groups alongside others of their species, but each is involved in caring for its own offspring, except for those actions as stealing other wasp prey or laying in other wasp nests. There are some species of solitary wasps that build communal nests, each insect having its own cell and providing food for its own offspring, sort of like an apartment building. But these wasps do not adopt the division of labor and the complex behavioral patterns adopted by eusocial species. So these are wasps that do not build these giant colonies that cooperate together. They're more independent, They either have their own little nest where they just raise a few offspring and then kind of, whatever. Or even if they do live in groups, it's not a tight, this is not like a controlled division of labor kind of thing. It's just like every wasp for itself, but we kind of still hang out.
These are like the libertarian wasp, dude.
Yeah, these wasps are less collectivist. These are more.
Yeah, maybe I might help you in some way, tertiary way, but it's really not me.
Well, the only reason they gather together, because obviously a group of wasps is more imposing than one wasp.
Yeah,
so they're kind of using. So they're kind of collectivistic in that they've banded together for safety, but they don't cooperate beyond that. It's just they're each they're each fighting for their own shit. They're feeding their own young, and that's it. So I tried to figure out how exactly these wasps survive the winter. I'm assuming that because they care for their young individually, they probably go into torpor individually as well, and do not have like this queen-based sort of structure that you see in the eusocial species. But let's learn about Wasp Venom. So this is a...
Oh, man, this is bringing back some bad memories.
Yeah, me too. You ever been stung by a wasp, Paul?
Yes. I got in a pool once. You know how they dive bomb pools?
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
I've seen it.
I was at a friend's house swimming, and he had a wasp nest somewhere nearby, and just like nailed me. It's way worse than a bee sting, by the way.
Oh
I've been
God,
stung
yeah.
by bees several times.
Where did it get you?
got me like right on the face, like right underneath one of my eyes.
Oh,
landed on
God.
my cheek and stung me on the face.
Oh man, that piece of shit.
Yeah. Last time I was stung on my neck. Like I walked out, like I was walking underneath like my mom and Steve's house. Their house is raised up because it floods.
Yeah.
And I just felt some like a pinch or something. I was like, what the fuck is that? Then I smacked the back of my neck really hard. A fucking wasp fell dead. My fucking neck was like, just fucking fiery burning pain. I'm like, oh. I realized at that point I've been stung by a fucking wasp, dude. It was
that's no fun. I was stung as a kid. I went down the slide we had in our backyard.
Oh, yeah.
And the wasps had apparently built a nest under it, so they thought I was attacking their nest, and several of them came out and stung me. And I was stung, I think, 3 or 4 times. And oh my God, I didn't know what was going on. Because I didn't see them, I didn't feel them land on me, anything like that. I only felt the stings, and it was just like,
you were pretty young too.
yeah. And I was just like, you're just standing there, nothing's going on, and then all of a sudden, just blinding red hot pain. So a wasp sting isn't the sort of thing most people take for granted. But the same can't be said for the chemical makeup of the venom. After all, why does a wasp sting hurt so much? Wasp venom is far more than just stuff that hurts. It is a multi-step micro-assault with a twofold aim. Number 1, as an offensive weapon, the goal is to paralyze insects for easier transport back to the nest. As a defensive weapon, the venom delivers enough pain to convince larger animals to leave well enough alone. To get to the bottom of wasp venom, it's important to understand exactly what pain is. Localized physical suffering associated with physical injury or disease. Basically, it's the nerves telling the brain, hey, your arm is damaged, or move, your leg is on fire. The intended result is that the creature experiencing the pain will fight or flee, whichever best removes the threat of more physical damage. With wasp venom, the pain can be very intense, which can be very intense, is an exaggeration of the actual physical damage, which is minimal. So basically, it doesn't actually damage you much, but the pain is crazy. And why is that? The sting enables the wasp to convince larger threats that it's capable of dishing out far more physical damage than one would expect from a creature so small. The message, often driven home with bright body coloration, is leave us alone. Wasp venom achieves this by waging a staged attack against the nervous system on a cellular level. Number 1, the stinger delivers the venom to the victim's bloodstream. Number 2, peptides and enzymes in the venom break down cell membranes, spilling cellular contents into the bloodstream. When the cells in question are neurons, which serve the central nervous system, this breach causes the injured cell to send back signals to the brain, which experience these signals in the form of pain. Number 3, to make sure the pain keeps coming, other substances in the venom, such as norepinephrine, stop the flow of blood, which is why the pain of wasp sting can last for several minutes until the bloodstream can carry the diluted venom away. Number 4, finally, hyaluronidase, or MCDC, mast cell degranulating peptide, pave the way for the membrane-destroying elements in the venom to move on to other cells by melting through the connective tissue between them. This spreading factor leads to the swelling and redness associated with most insect stings.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
The wasp is just fucking evil, dude.
What the fuck, dude?
Let me inject this venom into you and start breaking down the cells of your body. Don't fuck with me, DJ.
So now that I've made you terrified of wasp stings all over again, let's talk about some of the wasps with the worst sting possible, huh?
Yeah,
let's talk about the stingiest of the stingies. You know what I mean?
Ugh.
Let's start with this son of a bitch.
Ugh.
Oh my God, look at it. No.
What is that, TJ?
This is Polistes carnifex.
Is it the executioner wasp?
Yes, it is better known
I've seen this
as the executioner wasp.
Oh
I'm
my
assuming
God.
you ran away.
There's some moron on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Coyote Peterson. We're going to talk about him in a second, actually.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
So although he's not a particularly aggressive wasp species, it has garnered reputation in many Latin American countries for its potent sting. YouTube personality and wildlife educator Nathaniel Coyote Peterson, who we were just talking about, who has deliberately exposed himself to a variety of stinging insects for entertainment and educational purposes, was stung and declared the wasp sting was the most painful one he had ever taken, more painful than the bullet ant or the giant Asian hornet.
What the fuck?
Peterson also said the sting can cause tissue necrosis around the site of the sting, probably because of that cellular breakdown we were talking about earlier, saying, "My arm was swollen for days, and eventually a small hole rotted in my arm from the venom at the sting site." So I'm assuming you saw this video, Paul?
I did, yeah. He did a whole series where he went around the world and took the hardest stings that he could find.
From bullet ants and all kinds of stuff.
And I watched a few of them just out of curiosity. And he fucking, the agony that he went through after getting stung by this thing is hard to describe. I've never seen a person writhe in agony so hard, because you look at him on the outside, he's not injured visibly.
Right.
He's a young dude in good shape. He just literally was unconsolable.
Yeah. Well, look,
from someone that has fucking taken the bullet ant, which the bullet ant for a long time was rated as like that's the worst thing.
Well, it's argued whether or not this thing's sting is actually worse than the bullet ant. Some people say it is, some people say it isn't. There's some contention, but I mean, how many people have been stung by both? Yeah. So this guy probably knows better than most. But the bullet ant, the reason it's called the bullet ant is because its sting basically feels like a fucking bullet wound.
Right.
People feel like they've been shot, like there's a giant hole right through their fucking body. And apparently this thing is, if it's not on the level of the bullet ant, it surpasses it. It's such a brutal fucking creature, brutal stinging insect. Absolutely not something you want to fuck with, but luckily, not a super aggressive thing. It's not out there trying to fucking sting you. It'll sting for defensive purposes, which obviously it's a stupid bug, so it doesn't necessarily know what's a threat and what's not. But it could interpret you're too close to my nest, so sting, and then you're going to experience fucking some insane, agonizing, brutal fucking pain.
Luckily, not around here, though. Latin America, I believe.
Yeah, this is a Latin American one. Here's one that is around here, though.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, my fucking God. Why is he holding it?
That's straight from a nightmare, dude.
It's probably not actually around here, but it's not far. It's Texas. And actually California, too. It's a lot of the West Coast stuff. It's pretty much everything on the West Coast under Washington, and then I think I might actually have a picture of their range here. No, okay,
that's it. Texas.
It's just Texas. No, they're all over the West Coast up till Texas, basically. California, Arizona, those kind of states. It's a desert dweller. So, do you guys know what this is? Anybody have any knowledge of this thing?
No.
You know what this is, Scotty?
I'm sorry, no.
This is another competitor for the worst sting. This is the Tarantula Hawk.
Oh, my God.
I've heard of these, but I did not know what they look like.
This is a species of wasp that lays its eggs in tarantulas. The larva hatches inside the tarantula, and it begins eating it from the inside.
All right.
The larvae do their best to avoid eating the vital organs of the spider in order to keep it alive as long as possible. When the larva is ready to exit, it simply eats its way out of the spider's abdomen.
Great. That reminds me of like the Mist, dude. The spiders capture those people.
It just goes more to what I'm saying about the fucking xenomorph thing, because that's the life cycle of the fucking xenomorph.
I know that they're parasitic. It's like, all right, I'm gonna get my prey. I'll keep you alive.
Actually, the vast majority of wasps are parasitic. They hatch, they grow, they lay their eggs in other creatures, but they're not true parasites because a true parasite does not kill its host. These do.
Ah.
So, but
they have a parasitic relationship.
Yeah, they're like temporary parasites. because most parasites are looking to live off of you, not kill you. These are looking to live off you until they kill you. And then they eat their way on out.
So they're worse. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Worse in literally every way.
So
I don't know if I can't think of an animal worse than this. I mean, yeah, I guess the premise of this episode has proven itself true.
So it's actually kind of it's a very solitary wasp. Okay. And its sting, the good news is the pain from the sting only lasts about 3 minutes.
Not bad.
But it's so fiercely electric that it could be described as totally unacceptable. There are some vivid descriptions of people getting stung by these things, says invertebrate biologist Ben Hutchins of Texas Parks and Wildlife, and their recommendation, and this is actually from a peer-reviewed journal, was to lie down and start screaming, because few, if any, people could maintain verbal and physical coordination after getting stung by one of these things. You're likely to just run off and hurt yourself, so just lie down and start screaming.
What?
Yeah,
lie down.
The medical advice for you have been stung by a tarantula hawk is lay down and scream.
Dude, I want to do a PSA for these,
because
if you're stung by this, lay down and scream.
If you try to do anything other than that, you're likely to hurt yourself. So lay down and scream, because you will not be capable of verbal communication. You will not be capable of physical coordination. The pain apparently is unimaginable. But only 3 minutes, though. So
then you're fine.
Just 3 minutes in hell. And then you're fine. So
okay.
This wasp is found throughout much of the United States, but there's not much cause for concern because they're not very aggressive. They're very unlikely to sting a human being, and you're probably not going to encroach on the habitat of one of these things. So it's not really much of a threat to you, but if you ever do happen to come across one, you might want to walk the other direction. Although I don't think you'd need to be told that, considering it just like at a glance, it's like, well, that's evil. I'm going to leave now.
Yeah, who would approach this, let alone hold it in their hand?
Look, it's a little wasp.
It's my little buddy. My little Tarantula Hawk. He's my friend. But he's not looking to fuck your day up. He might fuck your day up, but he's not out there looking to start shit with you.
I will say this. Look at the guy holding it has a really swollen hand, so I don't know. Maybe if you make your hand really fatty and stuff, it protects your hand.
But what about the ones that are looking to fuck your shit up?
Yeah, the assholes.
Let's talk about these wasps. Maybe their stings don't hurt as bad as the Tarantula Hawk or the Executioner wasp, but they're out there, but they don't need nearly as much provocation to fuck your day up. All right? So first is the yellow jacket, which we very much have here. The yellow jacket is a very aggressive wasp. Yellow jackets are mostly found during late summer and early fall months, especially August, making them a nuisance and a danger at outdoor picnics, festivals, and barbecues, where the smell of food can lure the insect in proximity of humans. This wasp type is considered predatory and can live in colonies of 4,000 to 5,000.
Fuck that.
Yellow jacket nests are typically found in protected areas such as trees, shrubs, near roof gutters, and under house awnings. Yellow jackets will aggressively attack en masse if they feel their nest is being threatened. So not only do you got to fucking deal with one of these motherfuckers, you got to deal with the whole goddamn colony.
This is what stung me in the face, by the way.
This yellow jacket? How did that feel?
It was excruciating. It was like being punched in the face with a knife.
Yeah. So imagine being attacked by those en masse. Imagine 4,000 to 5,000 of those attacking all at once. And unlike bees, who can only use their sting once, a wasp can sting you over and over and over again.
So somehow Paul swimming in a pool was like, the wasp was like, threat. It's like, what the fuck are these things?
That was all it needed. That was all it needed. Because it's that aggressive. If it sees you, it's like, that's a threat. I'll go sting that thing just for good measure.
I walked underneath the house. That was what I did to threaten it.
Right.
How dare you, Scotty?
I know. Walk around.
So hornets. Hornets are one of the most aggressive types of wasps, and many are able to sting through clothing and protective gear. Like yellow jackets, hornets are very protective of their nests, which can be found in the ground, hollows of trees, tree branches, roof gutters, among other protected places. Certain types of hornet, such as the bald-faced hornet, will protect its nest by employing two of its team to circle near the nest, surveying the area for threats. Once these watchmen feel their nest is in danger, they alert their team inside, and all attack as a united group.
Jesus.
So they literally have a couple of that are just out there on patrol, looking for anything they deem a threat. And if you happen to enter that sphere of like, that's a threat, it's going to call down the fucking the rage of the entire colony on you.
Dude, because our stepdad works in construction. They come across a lot of this shit when they're working outdoors. And like the worst story they ever told me was just that like they were clearing some shit away and they stumbled onto a hornet's nest. And Stevie just told me that they all just like dropped everything they were doing and just ran. They're like,
no shit. I don't blame them.
It's like because hornets are fucking huge, and like they're gonna attack you. Like they had to change. They had like basically jump in their car and be like, "Now we gotta get some fucking shit to kill these things." Like we ain't even fucking with this. We're even going back until we have a plan. Like until they calm the fuck down, we can go and ambush them.
It's war.
And then everyone on that fucking crew just got like a fucking like 2 cans of fucking hornet killer and just like inundated their fucking hive.
Dude, when it comes to these motherfuckers, it becomes a war. Like if there's somewhere where you need to be, like it's not just a little like, oh, whatever, we got to take care of that. It's like, all right, we going into fucking battle now.
Well, you've seen those Japanese bees kill these hornets because hornets will fucking clear out an entire nest of honeybees.
Oh, yeah.
They do that crazy shake thing. I don't know if you cover that later.
Oh, we're getting to it. Paper wasp. Paper wasps, which can be found throughout North America, are an aggressive type wasp that builds their nest with chewed up wood pulp, hence the name paper wasps. The insect can grow up to 1 inch long, possesses a distinctive reddish-brown body with yellow rings, and long legs that dangle during flight. We have these around here, by the way. The paper wasp is, I think this is actually the one that stung me. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it was actually these paper wasps that stung me. The paper wasp is considered a social insect that is most active during the spring, summer, and fall months. By November, all males and original queen die within the nest, while the new queen burrows into the ground to wait for winter to pass. And then there's the cicada killer wasps. Pretty similar kind of fucking thing. Another aggressive species. It says the species of wasp is found most during July and August in hotter climates where cicadas are present. I'm not going to lie. We probably have every single one of these wasps here.
I imagine.
I mean,
this thing.
Insect activity.
You ever seen this motherfucker before?
The cow killer? No.
This is the red velvet ant or the cow killer. But it's not an ant. It is a wasp. It does not, however, fly.
Fuck that.
So these insects are wasps, not ants. Females are wingless and covered with dense hair, superficially resembling ants. The red velvet ant is the largest velvet ant species, reaching about 3/4 an inch in length. They are black overall with patches of dense orange-red hair on the thorax and abdomen. Males are similar but have wings and cannot sting. Several other species of velvet ants are common in Texas, including the gray velvet ant and the thistledown mutilid. Mutilid.
Sounds like a zerg.
Most are solitary parasites of immature wasps, solitary bees, and some other insects such as beetles and flies. Winged males can be confused with other Hymenoptera. Adults of the typhoid wasp are black and yellow, 3/4 inch long. They can occur in large numbers, sometimes on flowers and landscape plants. Larvae are parasites of white grubs. So here's their life cycle. Females seek the immature stages of ground nesting bees, digging to the nesting chamber and eating a hole through the cocoon. She deposits an egg in the host larva, which soon hatches into a white legless grub. The immature velvet ants eat the host larva, developing through several larva stages before forming a pupa. The name, I'm going to get to this. So the name cow killer is thought to describe the painful stings these insects can inflict on man and animals, though it is doubtful that many cows are actually stung. And of course, these are their sting is supposed to be pretty brutal as well, not on the level of the executioner wasp or the tarantula hawk, but pretty fierce sting, and they're pretty fucking huge. But they're not as huge as this guy. This is the largest of the wasps.
Oh my God.
Oh, there's a pin in the thing.
Yes.
I'm fine with it because it's, it's obviously dead. It's pinned to whatever it's so it can't fly around and fucking sting you. It's good.
This is the Asian giant hornet, which can reach 1.5 to 2 inches in length.
Nope, no thanks. I'm going to pass.
Has a wingspan of 3 inches.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm glad it's in Asia.
Nope.
Oh, it's here too.
If we needed more reasons in the modern age to never go to Asia, here you go.
So the Asian giant hornet has an orange head with a brown antenna. Abdomen is covered with alternate dark brown and yellowish orange bands. Asian giant hornet has a 0.25 inch long stinger that is used to inject venom into the victim's body. Stinger can be used multiple times to deliver extremely potent venom composed of 8 different chemical substances. So Asian giant hornets often attack European honeybees and use their larvae as a source of food. As soon as a beehive is discovered, Asian giant hornet secretes pheromones to attract other members of the colony to the newly discovered source of food. One Asian giant hornet can kill 40 honeybees in less than a minute, while few of them can destroy a colony of 30,000. Honeybees, basically it takes them a few hours. Basically, if they find a colony of honeybees, they pretty much kill the bees in, a couple hours.
Well, yeah, that's why I was talking about the thing where they do the thing where they heat them up, basically, because the honeybees can live like 1 degree more, or they can stand 1 degree more and not die, and the hornet can't.
Right, so the honeybees will sometimes vibrate and move really fast to generate heat in the colony, which will kill the giant hornets, but it's not always effective. And if you see when they're not successful, it's a massacre, dude. A lot of the European honeybees that don't really, hadn't really evolved alongside these are not really aware of that technique to fight them. So when honeybees detect Asian giant hornets on time, they can apply an unusual strategy to kill them. They swarm around the Asian giant hornet and raise the body temperature till it basically cooks. So that's their defense, but it doesn't always work, and usually it doesn't. Usually they kill too many of the honeybees too quick for it to be effective. Aside from honeybees, Asian giant hornets also eat wasps, other wasps, praying mantises, and other hornets as well. They don't give a shit. They'll eat whatever. Asian giant hornet is able to travel a distance of 60 miles at the speed of 25 miles per hour to catch its prey. It does not hesitate to attack humans. All victims should seek medical attention as soon as possible due to life-threatening allergic reactions. These are actually responsible for about 40 deaths a year in Japan.
Oh my God! Can you imagine being killed by one of these motherfuckers?
Yeah, well, if it stings you. So first of all, unlike those other painful stings we're talking about, so this is almost on the order of the tarantula hawk or the executioner wasp in terms of the pain, but it's not quite there, but it's almost there. But these are way more aggressive than either of those. They sting a shit ton of people every year, and about 40 of those people in Japan die each year from allergic reactions to their stings. They're allergic to one or more of the 8 chemicals that are present in the venom that this thing secretes.
They go into anaphylactic shock.
Yeah, and they fucking bloat up and die.
Okay, well, how did he go? Got stung by a wasp.
By a giant hornet. They're social. They live in colonies. They have the typical queen drone worker sort of collective. Workers collect food, protect the nest, take care of the young. The drones, they fertilize the queen. Queen lays the eggs. We've already gone through the social hierarchy. So construction of the nest starts in the spring, continues until autumn when the workers and the queen all complete their life cycle and die. So the drones, they fly away from the colony when they reach adult age. They die as soon as they fertilize newly formed queens. Fertilized queens remain dormant until the spring when the cycle starts all over again. But if you want any solace, these wasps, they kill about 40 Japanese people a year, but the Japanese people kill far more of them because apparently these are eaten in Japan as well. So, would you like to? You'll sit down for some fried wasp? Them? Yeah, apparently they eat these things.
I mean, that's one way to dominate them, I guess.
We'll take care of that.
You gotta consume the enemy to have their strength, Paul.
Oh yeah, who knows? But yeah, there's a fucking lot of going on there. And if you think that these are not in the United States, you're wrong.
Wait, what?
You can get a price drop alert from
what?
Wayfair.
I can.
Anywhere.
Thanks.
Cool.
Damn, that's good to know.
I could use a price drop alert. Is this on this page? Where is this?
Ad block. TJ needs to use fucking ad block.
Every fucking site won't let you access their site.
A fucking cock, because he ain't got no ad block.
I don't really know. Is it on this page or where is it?
Oh no, dude.
I don't know where this fucking is coming from.
What is this, TJ?
I don't know. I'm scared.
I don't think CNN does this. I think it's one of those sites you have.
Well, it stopped when I refreshed CNN, so I'm assuming that it's from CNN.
It's fake news anyways.
A giant hornet has invaded Washington state, and it's hungry for honeybees. There's at least one Asian giant hornet, the largest pest of its kind, buzzing around Washington state and scaring locals silly. But it's not here to prick people. It's much hungrier for honeybees. A resident found the nearly 2-inch hornet in Blaine, a city that sits on the U.S.-Canada border, the Washington State Department of Agriculture reported. The department took the specimen, which had died, though the resident reported seeing a live hornet buzzing near a bird feeder before escaping into the forest nearby. It's unusual to see the Asian giant hornet in Washington for a few reasons. It's never been seen in the state before, for one. It's native to East Asia, and it's typically dormant during the winter, opting to buzz about between July and October. In winter, colonies typically nest in the ground and avoid humans and pets, though when disturbed, they can inflict a nasty sting, the department said. They have some questions about how it got in the U.S. and stuff, but I'm going to tell you this right now. These things have been invading Europe for a while now, and there's no reason to think that they're going to stop there, especially as our climate changes. We could very well see these in the U.S. as well. So you might be making an acquaintance with this little bug here in the near future.
Well, you might be. I ain't leaving my house.
All right.
Paul's staying home.
Cancel all the preparation for COVID-19 shit. There's a greater enemy now. They've invaded. We haven't seen the real enemy.
COVID-19 was just the first wave of the
Look at
giant
that thing's
hornet.
face. Look at its face.
Yep. I'll make it a little bigger for you.
Eyes filled with malice.
I'll make it a little bigger for you.
Oh my God, look at it.
Coming for you, TJ.
Get it as big as I can.
Dude, I got the creepy crawlies something fierce with this
I'll tell
episode.
you what, Paul, you're saying I'm going to stay in my house, but you know what? You already said you smoke cigarettes and you smoke them outside.
Not anymore.
They'll bide their time, Paul.
Not anymore.
We're waiting for you, Paul.
I'm now an inside smoker.
Have a smoke, Paul. Enjoy your day.
Ugh.
Have a smoke. Enjoy your toke. The wasps are coming for you.
Look at that thing, man. Just waiting for Paul to light up.
So, I know it's been kind of a shorter episode, but it's pretty much all I have. So what do you think of the question? Are they evil?
I mean, I answered it at the very beginning. They're
But maybe
clearly evil.
Maybe something has changed your mind in the interim, huh?
No.
What? I said, wait a minute. What what was presented here that would change our minds that wasps are in fact the fucking most evil fucking goddamn creature.
Keep your phone.
Shut up.
Money and upgrade your network with Spectrum Mobile.
Go away. I'm done with you.
TJ, you're a fucking disaster.
I don't know what the
Get
fuck is
ad-block.
planned that. They don't let you. News sites will not let you look at shit if you have ad block. Every single one is like, notice you're using ad block. If you want to look at this, disable ad block, please. Maybe is there some way around that? I gotta find that if there is.
A likely story, TJ. Fucking likely goddamn story.
But I'll tell you what, wasps are fucking evil. I hated doing this episode. There were so many worse things I could have fucking. I mean, I found so many different fucking kinds of wasps that were so gross. But most of it's kind of redundant because it's just different host objects. But I mean, like the basic life cycle of the wasp of like, I mean, if there was like giant wasps, it'd basically be they show up and they either snatch you up after paralyzing you and carry you off to some horrible nest somewhere to be stuffed in a hole and fed to a fucking hungry larva, or they don't even bother with that. They just bring the larva to you, lay their eggs inside you, and the next thing you know, you got a fucking terrible goddamn stomach ache or some shit. Oh, what's wrong? Oh, it just hurts so bad. And you don't know there's a fucking giant worm eating you up from the inside, getting larger and larger until the day it decides that it's fucking got enough fucking mass and strength to fucking go off on its own. And then it just eats its way right through your fucking guts. And you're fucking dead, watching in horror as this fucking giant worm crawls away.
All right, TJ. Tell you what, man, I got a fucking message for you about this episode, dude.
Yeah.
You're fired.
What, you don't like it?
You're fired.
Why? What'd I do?
You've disturbed us.
Disgusting. I mean, both inside and out. You take a look at her. She's a slob. She talks like a.
You're disgusting, TJ.
She talks like what does she talk like?
Nah, dude, let me tell you something, TJ.
Yeah.
I might have made a fucking long ass episode, but you made a fucking goddamn episode that, just like, it's creepy. These fucking things are like, now I'm just convinced they're like just out to get me. I'm like, I'm already a paranoid motherfucker. Every time I go outside, now I'm like, I'm just gonna think in the distance, we're waiting for you, Scotty. Must take out the trash. Let your dogs outside. There's a fucking scene in Aliens where it's all like, how you feeling, buddy? Oh, you're hungry? Keep eating.
Wouldn't it be great if TJ got stung by a fucking swarm of wasps today as penance for this?
No, it would not be great.
Oh, by the way, there are some hanging around the outside where he smokes cigarettes.
That's actually why I did this episode, is because I kept seeing them. I'm like, fuck these motherfuckers.
Coming for you, TJ.
They better not be. I don't need them.
Did you kill their nest?
What?
Did you kill their nest? Did you find where they live?
I haven't found it.
You're fucked, dude. Until you find the source of the fucking wasp, you're going to keep coming more and more. And it's the beginning, TJ. This is just the beginning of spring. Next month, you saw a couple wasps. Then you'll see 10, then 20.
Yeah,
and 40, then 1,000, then a million, TJ.
Stock up on some wasp spray.
Oh, it's all been sold out, man. COVID-19 has scared people. They've stocked up on all that.
Damn.
You have to fight them.
Fight them one-on-one using my bare hands.
Bare fucking hands, dude.
Yeah, it can't be helped. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry for it's a little bit shorter than usual episode, but then again, our last episode was way longer than usual, or at least the last episode we shot. I don't know what order they'll come out in.
Yeah, if you add them together, it's
about normal.
A normal week.
So fuck you. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time on Deep Fat Fried.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.